And we are back. Welcome to my third and final European predictions video of the week. It is, of course, time for the Europa Conference League playoff second leg previews and predictions. If you've already missed my predictions for the Champions League, Europa League, and the Aston Villa-Liverpool game that is taking place tonight, you can check out all of those videos available at the top of your screen right now, or obviously just go back on the channel and check them out. And whilst you're around there, please don't forget to drop a like on this video if you enjoy all of my prediction series, and subscribe with notification turned on so you don't miss out on any of our future predictions videos, which of course start with Premier League predictions again on Friday morning. As for this week, I mean, it's already been just one night of Champions League action and European football has already delivered in those four matches, from Theo getting sent off for diving, resulting in Feyenoord getting the late goal to see off AC Milan, for Bruges winning again against Atalanta, to Alphonso Davies' last gasp winner for Bayern Munich to break Celtic hearts, and of course the crazy 3-3 from Benfica and Monaco. What an unbelievable start to the European week, and it's exactly what we expect from European football. And the European football is yet to come, with all of the Europa League and Europa Conference League still to come. So let's look at the Conference League, where you'll see that we are on 63 out of 116 with 6 correct scores. We accurately predicted the Pafos, Omonia, Nicosia score last week, which has taken our tally up there. But sadly, it was only 3 from 8 in terms of the predictions for the Conference League last week. So hopefully we can do a little bit better here. As always, we have 4 early kickoffs and 4 late kickoffs when it comes to these playoffs. So let's get into it with the first of the early kickoffs, which sees FC Heidenheim taking on FC Copenhagen. And to the shock of absolutely nobody, despite Heidenheim getting the victory in the first leg, they once again succumb to defeat at the weekend. Another home defeat for them in the Bundesliga. For Copenhagen, their domestic season has finally restarted, and it's restarted with a win, 2-1 for them, with former Borussia Dortmund and Bundesliga placed player Damien Delaney being the main difference man in that match. So Copenhagen, despite being behind, are going to be looking at Heidenheim's recent home form and looking at their result of the weekend, thinking there's still a very good chance that they could come back into this. The problem is despite being the side that's had the massive winter break, they're the side with the serious injury concerns coming into this one, with as many as 5 usual first-team minimum squad players missing, including their striker, Andre Cornelius. For Heidenheim, their only player missing is going to be Dorsch. He is the only absentee still remaining from the first leg in terms of those. I would still say Heidenheim should be considered the favourites. They've got the lead, they've got home advantage, but it should not be overlooked that they only got 1 win in their 3 league phase matches, and obviously they've been losing regularly at home in the Bundesliga as well. I definitely think there's a chance Copenhagen can produce a result, but I'm not confident enough to give them the win that I gave them last week. I'm starting off today's predictions with a 2-2 draw. Then we have Olimpija Ljubljana taking on Borac, Banja, Luka. And what an outstanding performance it was from the boys at BBL last week. And look, let's be real, they probably should be winning this game by a much larger margin. You look at the stats from last week, 2.5 XG to Olimpia's 0.7, but it took a 91st minute winner for BBL to take this lead to the second leg, and this was against 10 men as well. So you look at this now, and you've got to think they've left the door a little bit too far open for the Slovenian side to make a comeback. That said, they won 3-0 at the weekend, but one of their scorers in that match, Florux, I can't say his name properly, he was the player who was sent off in the first leg last week for Olimpija. So despite the fact they did win at the weekend, their main striker is going to be unavailable for this match. For BBL, they didn't play at the weekend, so they carry no fresh injury or suspension concerns into this second leg from the first leg. One thing that should be noted is that in their 6 league phase matches, Olimpija only scored 7 goals. Meanwhile, BBL only conceded 7 goals from their 6 league matches. So I genuinely think that there is a strong opportunity that we could see a 0-0 draw here. BBL definitely look like they are a side that can really hold their own defensively when it matters. But it's also worth noting that in all 3 of their away matches in the league phase, they did concede. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Olimpija Ljubljana in 90 minutes, with it going to extra time and penalties. And as I tend to do with these sort of matches, I'm going to go for the home side to win it on extra time or penalties. But we'll see. BBL have proven themselves more than worthy so far in this competition. Maybe they can do it again. From there then, we move to the big Cypriot tie, the one that I called perfectly last week as a 1-1 draw. And, I mean, what can be said? I said into the last week game there was absolutely nothing to split them. They drew 1-1, and again, I don't think anyone's going to be too surprised to learn that back in the Cypriot League at the weekend, both of these sides won once again, which means their respective unbeaten runs are now 8 games unbeaten for Pafos, 9 games unbeaten for Omonia and Nicosia. It should be noted that in that first game, it was Pafos that had the significant possession advantage and had more chances. But it should also be noted that it was exactly the same when these sides met earlier in the Cypriot League when Pafos were the home side, and it was a late winner from former Manchester City man Stefan Jovetic, which granted Omonia a 1-0 win. And don't forget that stat that I threw about last week. This match has not been won by the home side on any of the last 8 meetings. So, again, it's so hard for me to say that Pafos are actually going to win this match. Don't get me wrong, they should definitely be considered the favourites, but with neither side having any fresh injury concerns, with their form being so consistent, I again can only realistically see this going the exact same way that all the other games have gone. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw once again. And as with the previous game, I'll give it to Pafos in extra time or penalties. Final early kickoff then sees Real Betis taking on KAA Gent, and what an amazing opening leg it was for Real Betis. Anthony, the main man, starring, and he backed it up with another goal and assist at the weekend against Europa League side Real Sociedad in La Liga. Another 3-0 win for Real Betis, back-to-back 3-0 wins. However, it is that fact that I do throw a little bit of caution over this prediction, because from what the reports I'm suggesting are seeing is that Manuel Pellegrini is likely to make changes to this starting lineup. They're already 3 goals ahead. They've got a big away game to Getafe as they try and look to get back into European places in La Liga. And the priority for Pellegrini with this bigger margin is to get that result away to Getafe at the weekend. So I would hesitate to make your big predictions on this fixture until you see that starting lineup. For Gent, they were unable to make anything really useful at the weekend. It was a 3-2 victory, but again, it didn't look like they were at their best at the moment, and they've got an absolute mountain to climb here. If you do see Betis making changes, of course, there is a chance that Gent get the result on the night, but to see them overturning a 3-goal deficit and go through away from home, I think it's only been done once or twice in European football, full stop. So I'd be very shocked to see it happen. I'm going to go on the conservative side of things. For Gent, they're missing Dean and Huslaga once again. For Betis, we know they've got injury concerns, so like Carvalho and Bellerin and whatnot. But again, we don't really know what their lineup's going to be. I'm going to go on the slight conservative side. I'm still going to get back Betis to get the result, but I'm just going to go for a 2-1 victory, covering the potential that they do change their team. Next up then, we move on to the later kickoffs, and the first of those sees APOEL Nicosia taking on NK Celje. And to be fair, I absolutely writ Celje off last week, and I have to hold my hands up and say what an unbelievable performance from them, getting a 2-2 draw, and they missed a penalty. So they had a real opportunity to take a lead into this second leg, which I gave them no chance of doing, and they accomplished all of that, both their goals and the penalty, all before APOEL had their player sent off. So it does make me believe that they are now capable of producing a result away in Cyprus, which we'll see. What I could say is they did only manage a 0-0 draw back in Slovenia at the weekend. Meanwhile, APOEL once again picked up a victory, which means they've now only lost 1 of their last 16 matches. But, again, to flip it back the other way, they only won 1 of their 3 home matches in the league phase of the Conference League. However, to flip it back the other way again, Celje actually lost all 3 of their away matches in the league phase. In terms of injuries and suspensions, APOEL will have Chibake out injured, and Diwali, I think that's how you say his name, was the player sent off in that first leg. So he is going to be suspended for this one. Sorry, Chibake also suspended for picking up an additional yellow card. And other than that, there are no new injury concerns from the first leg. I could see Celje getting this to extra time and penalties, but I think it would be a bit of a surprise. I have to go for the side that I thought would win last week, especially now with home advantage. I'm going for a 2-1 victory to APOEL. Next up is a game that I think is a little bit more wrapped up. It is, of course, Jagiellonia taking on Backa Topola, and I've not even made a lot of notes for this one. JB won 3-0 at the weekend to back up their 3-1 victory in the first leg. Backa backed up their 3-1 defeat by losing once again, meaning that they have lost their last 4 matches in a row in all competitions, and they have Kapan suspended for this one as well. To me, it's just an absolute no-brainer that Jagiellonia get the victory here. If you want even more information, from the 3 home games that Jagiellonia played, they got 7 points. From the 3 away games that Backa played, they only got 1 point in the league phase. So I can't see this going any other way than a Jagiellonia victory. I'm just going to go conservative again. I think they're just going to try and get the job finished. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory there. That then takes us to Panathinaikos and the Reykjavik Vikings, or for 1 week only, the Helsinki Vikings, who were unbelievable in that opening leg, taking that 2-goal lead and sadly letting Panathinaikos nick one back with that last-minute Ioannidis penalty. Is that going to be the slight opening that Panathinaikos need to get the result back in the home leg? What I would say is that they did lose Bakasetas and Palmer Brown in that first leg, and as things stand, both of those players are going to miss this match with the injuries they sustained in that first leg. Meanwhile, the Vikings don't have any fresh concerns coming into this one. In terms of performances over the weekend, Panathinaikos were able to pick up a 2-1 victory. Vikings, I believe, did not play. So real opportunity for them to use their rested players to get a result here. Again, though, the only problem that I've got for them is that Panathinaikos, over the course of this season, have played 11 home games and have won 9. Their only real defeat coming on match day 2 of this competition to the eventual league phase winners in Chelsea. So I don't think that's too much to overlook. In my opinion, I expect Panathinaikos to certainly win this leg, but I'm also going to say that they're just about going to win this tie. The goal for Vikings could be massive, as and when they get it will be key to whether or not this game goes extra time and penalties. Regardless, I think Panathinaikos win this match in 90 minutes. I'm going for a 3-1 victory to Panathinaikos, which would just see them through. And then finally, you all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you? Shamrock Rovers 1, Molde 0. I think the odds were as bad as 11-1 against for Shamrock Rovers. And, what was it, 11-1 for Shamrock to win last week. But I told you can't overlook the form guide. Molde have been playing terrible. Shamrock in this competition has been fantastic. And they got the result. Okay, we'll address the elephant in the room. Molde were the dominant side until they had a player sent off. And then Shamrock capitalised against the 10 men. But that's how you win matches in Europe. It's what you've got to do. The only problem I now have for Shamrock coming into this second leg is that at the weekend, they played their full first team and lost 1-0 to Bohemians. So there's a little bit more doubt now over this fixture. Obviously, Molde will start this game with 11 players, but they will be without Lund, who was the player who was sent off. They obviously did not play at the weekend either, so they've had this entire week to prepare for this second leg. As with last week, I'll say exactly what I said then. Molde should definitely be considered the favourites to win both this leg, and to be honest, to probably still be considered the favourites to win this tie. But in this competition, Shamrock Rovers have proven themselves more than worthy of getting the result. However, Molde will not be the only team to have players suspended from this match, as both Cleary and Watt picked up yellow cards, which means that they have hit the yellow card threshold to be suspended for this match as well. I think it's going to be a real close one. It cannot be ignored that Shamrock Rovers were unbeaten in all of their home matches in the league phase. All they have to do is go unbeaten again, and they're in the last 16. It's going to be a close one, but I'm backing them to do it. I'm not giving them the win this time because I do think Molde will come out stronger for this one. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, which will see Shamrock through to the last 16. As always, let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. Surely this video can't go as badly as last night went in the Champions League. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know anything that you think that I've missed down in the comment section below as well. Don't forget to check out all of the other prediction videos. And thank you very much for watching once again. I'll see you on Friday morning for the next round of Premier League predictions. I'll see you there.